In this video, we're going to show you an extremely effective exercise for your inner thighs. This exercise will build strength in your adductor muscles, which will help you with your overall thigh strength, hip mechanics, and athletic ability. This inner thigh exercise can also be extremely helpful if you have groin pain or you feel like your inner thigh muscles are always really tense even though you stretch them all the time. By building strength in your inner thighs, you can relieve that tension, relieve that sense of tension, and get yourself ready to do more fun activities in your life. We're going to show you a couple simple progressions from easiest to hardest, and we're also going to show you some common issues that crop up and what you can do about them. So if you're ready to exercise your inner thigh muscles safely, here's Trevor.
There are 3 options for this exercise, so please choose the one that's challenging for you, but you can still keep proper form. Option 1, place your knee on top of an object, like a couch, and all you will do is push down against that object with your knee. You should feel the inner thigh contract as you pull down. If you can lift the hips off the ground slightly by pushing down. Option 2 is to get up on your elbow and actually do a side plank. Now, as you can see, my knee is still on the object and I'm pushing down hard to give lift to my hips. Option 3 is to then start moving further away from the object to make a longer lever, which then increases the load on the muscles we're working, which are the adductors.
As you're doing this inner thigh exercise, often called the Copenhagen exercise, if you're experiencing shoulder discomfort while doing this exercise, then we've got a solution for that too. Students in our Upright live stream classes have asked about shoulder pain while doing this exercise, so we addressed that in one of our recent classes.
From Demar, had a question about the shoulder being an issue in the Copenhagen. Now this is a really common issue. So when you're doing any sort of arm supported movement, it's really important to pay attention to what your shoulder blades are doing. And this is gonna come up a couple times today because in other areas. So you're always, with your shoulder blade, you're always gonna be pushing into the resistance. So if gravity is pulling you down, and so you naturally, if you were to give into the resistance, your shoulder blade would move in and up. I need you to push out into the resistance, effectively pushing your shoulder blade away and down. Okay? So wherever your body would naturally fall to, push away from that. Okay? So that's first step. That should take care of, for a lot of people, that should take care of any shoulder issues. Now, for some people, you might be pushing and you still might be getting some weird shoulder pain. Usually it's up at the top of the shoulder. So in that case, if you're still getting some, it's probably because you're doing some sort of directional pushing with the actual shoulder itself, the ball and socket. So you're probably doing something like this, where you might be pushing your shoulder blade away, but you're also, with your elbow, pushing up. Try pulling down. So push away, and then at the shoulder, turn on your lat by pulling down. You should feel your lat actually kick on when you do it. And it'll probably give you a stronger oblique contraction on that side. And so it should take away a lot of pain. Even if you're not experiencing pain, you should be doing something like this when you're doing your side planks, or, you know, as we're working on today, the Copenhagen. So pay attention to that. And also keep that shoulder blade thing in mind. It's gonna come up so often.
So with any potential shoulder issues now out of the way, we want to focus in on how you feel when you do this exercise. One of our Upright Live students, Derek, shared his experience with us about the Copenhagen exercise. He found he had been cheating this exercise and had been doing it in a way that was actually making his muscles sore and not feel right. He had been compensating in ways that were making him use the wrong muscles, and that was robbing him of the benefit of the exercise. So there are some key things that you want to think about that Trevor's going to show you in this next clip. Before we get to that clip, I want to share a quick piece of Derek's story. Derek became a student of ours on Upright Live after having a lot of hip pain and discomfort for a long time. And in coming to this class, he was looking to find ways to increase his mobility, strength, and flexibility in a safe and progressive way. And here are some of his exact words after being in the class for many months and making great gains. Learning to reset my expectations for what my bad leg is capable of has been really great, and I'm very pleased with how much I've learned in this class over the past many months. Using the contract stretch technique and increasing my awareness of what muscles need to do what has helped me see the greatest improvement in my hip leg issues in years. Thanks so much to Trevor for his great instruction. Upright Live classes live stream once a week and they change lives. So if you're looking for a way to train safely at home to build strength in your inner thighs and all over the rest of your body, then be sure to check out the link in the description box. Now let's look at some cues to make sure you get your adductors working the way Derek did.
Derek and Jenny, who had some really cool insights with the Copenhagen. What they found is there is a way that you can kind of sink and passively use your obliques, maybe your shoulder strength, and not really use your adductor all that much here, especially if you kind of roll your hips back. You can end up using your hamstring only and not any adductor. So there's a very big difference between a really active Copenhagen, where you're squeezing the thighs together, and a passive kind of sinking Copenhagen. Make sure you're really trying to use your adductors, getting the thighs to squeeze together. And that goes for any position you're in. Even if you're just doing the shoulder version, you're really trying to imagine you're squeezing your thighs together, even if you can't do it. It's all about trying to pull inwards, not just hanging out in one position isometrically. You're trying to actually squeeze together.
So now we've shown you how to do the Copenhagen. We've shown you an easier version, a medium version, and a harder version. And we've helped you figure out what to do in case you get shoulder pain, or if you're just having trouble figuring out what muscles you're supposed to be feeling, or if you're having trouble feeling it in the right place. This exercise can be really helpful when done as part of your regular training regimen. In the May Upright Live program, we have it in the daily practice so that our students are regularly turning on their inner thigh muscles in balance with the rest of the body. If this is an exercise you want to start working on regularly, 30-second holds are a good place to start. If you can't get to 30 seconds, that's okay. Just work towards it and make sure you're feeling the exercise correctly and executing it well. Doing it on a daily basis for most people at that level is gonna be fine.
And by the way, you can tell, you'll know if you're doing a Copenhagen and you don't feel a lot of adductor, if you feel a lot of stuff happening in the hamstring, it's a good indication you're avoiding using that adductor. And it's the right exercise, you're not executing well enough.
In the May Upright Live program, we also have abduction exercises, so exercises for the butt and the ones that would counteract the inner thighs. So make sure you're also doing butt exercises, abduction exercises that will help keep the inner thighs and the butt muscles and the rest of the hip muscles in balance. And if you want a way to train at home safely and with expert guidance, be sure to check out Upright Live. It is changing lives. I hope you found this video helpful for your inner thighs and that your hips start getting stronger, healthier, and more mobile. Check the description box for helpful links to, for example, Upright Live. Share this video with somebody you know who wants to train their inner thighs safely too. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to get notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos. Hit the like button and drop us a comment if you found this really helpful, and let us know what other videos you'd like to see. And as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't.
Live by